Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I think we are going to go for a little adventure in the south. We're going to go after one of our neighbors. I think the neighbor we're going to go after... Let me see. This state is being colonized by both. There's Trenchworks. Beautiful. And Monitor. Oh, excellent. I think we're going to go after Argentina, because this state's being colonized by both. And this will give Chile enough time to get the rest of this colonization knocked out. Yeah, because this state is this one entire area here. So that's going to be on the docket. Let's get our armies upgraded. And then the Monitor is a frigate replacement. Alright, so we can do that. Let's take this fleet and set it up. Actually, I can set it up closer by. So that it can properly upgrade. This is going to mean we're going to need a lot more ironclads, I think. But that's very well within our capabilities. I think we're not producing virtually only ironclads. So let's go ahead and get started with that now. So that the Armada Nacional can have the number of monitors that it needs in order to function. So what does that do to our market here? Man of wars are very expensive, but the demand for man of wars is going down on account of, yes, here we go, on account of we're using more ironclads, which we have an overwhelming abundance of, and that's fine. There's the Monitor's event. The shallow draft solution. Designed for coastal defense operations, what Monitors lack in ocean-going capabilities they make up for in cost-effectiveness. Admiral Miguel de Barricading has informed the Admiralty in Rio de Janeiro that his fleet will keep any foes away from Brazilian waters. Sir, while it may indeed look like a cheese box on a raft, I assure you the 15-inch guns she carries in that box of hers are no laughing matter. Secure shores means secure communications, extra trade center throughput. Let us orient our naval doctrines around them, extra navy defense. Or we don't win by having the best ships, we win by having the most. Reduced navy attack and defense, extra shipyard throughput. I'm going to go with the middle one. You know I'm always going for better ships. So, at this point, I think, let me take a look at our armies, because again, we want to get these upgrades completed before we actually go to war. And those are looking good. Obviously, we'll upgrade our conscript forces, not that we're going to need to use them to any degree. At least, not if nobody intervenes. If somebody intervenes, that'll be a whole other issue. But I don't foresee that happening. Argentina has 21 battalions and 51 in conscripts that it can call up. Let's take a quick look at their military production methods. Buenos Aires is the capital, I believe. Yep. So most of its army is going to be here. Well, it's not mostly going to be here. Line infantry and lancers. Line infantry and mobile artillery. Line infantry. Yeah, I'm not at all concerned about Argentina. Alright. Hi there. Hello. It's time for you to be a protectorate. Great Britain or USA could intervene. USA could intervene, but it's probably not gonna. Fire away. I'm just gonna send the 3rd Brazilian army. Let's go ahead and get this in. So this will give us 18.7 infamy. It's actually less infamy for Chile, but I'm not super concerned about it. And maybe we'll put in the 4th Brazilian army as well, just to make sure that things are solid. I'm going to set our target to Buenos Aires, the capital. And that'll let us get me. Force comparison here is very good. No one, obviously, could bring Britain in, but I don't feel like we need to. Certainly the United States will not intervene in this. They're about even on both sides here. Improved relations broken. Alright, relations with Russia are amicable. Relations with Britain are still good, right? Oh, they're led by a tiny child. Edward von Hanover. Nice. Relations with Britain are still good. Relations with the USA are cordial. We are already improving relations with them. Alright, beautiful. Easy peasy. They're actually losing a war against American Senegal right now, which is pretty funny. I support this. American Senegal, whose Senegal were you originally? Yankee and Dixie. Oh, that is actually originally American Senegal. That's bananas. I love it. This is costing us a little bit of cash, but I'm actually not at all worried about that. I think we'll be absolutely fine. We got a whistle-stop tour event. Gustavo Benya intends to travel across Ica by train to campaign for the free trade part. Oh. Well, never mind then. So what does that do to the government? Government's pretty solid. Again, the petit bourgeois want to join the Liberal Party due to them being headed up by a Republican. I don't necessarily want that. Francisco Escobar. I don't know who that is. He's an historical figure, though. So you can tell me in the comments if that's what he actually looks like. He's brave and erudite. Everyone with opinions, feel free to share. Alright, cool. Making good progress through this construction queue. Maybe we'll do a construction expansion, maybe we won't. Force comparison here is looking very solid. 2 arms. And we've gotten the War in the Mud event. So let's grab that. The Entrenched Front. Heavy usage of trenches in Alto Paraguay by Carlos de Orleans interesting, has turned the land into a blasted hellscape. The stalemate cannot last forever, but it's not clear what the best way forward is. Have you ever been there in the trenches? It's less lonely than you'd think. You have friends everywhere. The rats will be with you day and night, and even when your mates die, they'll stay right there with you just down in the mud. We must further entrench. Alto Paraguay gets... That's one of their territories. Big mortality increase and agriculture and ranches and plantations throughput penalty, or we can't let our defenses stagnate. So this gives Carlos d'Orléans trench rat, but this one gives us 6k progress on defense in depth. So I'm going to go with the second one. We can't let our defenses stagnate. I think that's very good. Let's take a look at some battles here. As you can see, our technological situation vastly outstrips theirs, and that's causing them to be losing. So, again, I didn't think this was going to be a really tough fight. I continue to think it will not be. We are winning over here as well. Those are really interesting cannon designs. That must be the shrapnel artillery. I actually really like that from a visual standpoint. I think that looks really cool. Got a very, I mean, obviously they're historical, but it's still got a very Warhammer 40k feel to them, I think. Alright. That is Santa Fe captured. We are also grabbing Alto Paraguay. So I'm going to increase the speed here. I don't really foresee any problems happening with this war. And I think probably we'll let our infamy get down just a little bit before we finish this out. And the reason being that, again, I want to let Chile conquer the rest of this territory first before we get, or not conquer, colonize. Suknam, this is a decentralized power. Yes, it is. And the reason being is just because, like, once they've got that territory, that'll be solid and we won't need to colonize it ourselves. Ottoman Empire sides with Great Britain in a war against France. Interesting. Great Britain is calling us to support them against the French Republic. Well, we must accept, because they are our allies. So, we'll mobilize the Brazilian First Army and place them on the main front. I think we might be able to win this war with just one army. So we'll grab the 3rd Brazilian army. And we'll place them... There are a lot of fronts, but they're in small locations. I think we'll also put them on what's going to be the main front with the French over here. Armada Nacional is fully upgraded. Let's put them in the sea. And part of why our rank is going up, ooh, Prussia sides with us as well, wonderful, is that when we built those monitors, that made our fleets a lot stronger. Inefficient agriculture. The industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in Rio Grande do Sul, stating that their undeniable inefficiency should be immediately addressed. The fertile soil of our people suffers, relegated to tired and calloused hands, too exhausted from manual labor to perform at a decent level, too poor to be able to afford to use more advanced tools that would make them more profitable. This industry is just a useless investment. We should follow their advice, resist some radicals and migration attraction, where they serve our purposes. Industrialists mad. I don't want to let the industrialists be mad right now, so I'm just going to say we should follow their advice. We'll get a few radicals, it'll be fine. Unfortunately, this does place us at war with the French, which I, would rather not be if I had my druthers, but I think it'll be fine. I'm doing to be a little bit cognizant of what's going on here, because I want to make sure that I can win this war in time for the war with France to... Oh, peeps. Alright, hold on. I gotta close out this secondary front, because if the enemy puts forces there, it's going to be a huge headache for me. We are about to take Buenos Aires. Or at least we're in the realm of taking Buenos Aires. Very good. Yep, so as you can see, they are putting armies here, and that's going to be a giant problem if we don't have a force in the area, which we don't, because we only have the one army. Alright, so now we've got Buenos Aires. I'll propose the protectorate. Let it tick over so that their war support's negative. They are going to eventually surrender. I just need to make sure that this front doesn't cause a giant problem in the meantime. We got a Goldfields depleted event. The rich mineral deposits in Cajamarca have been drained. Mines are being shuttered, and all the prospectors who moved in are beginning to drift away in search of the next big strike. Alluvial gold mine dried up. Miners go home. River dried up due to miner activity. Shafts condemned as threat to life. Enter at own peril. Trespassers will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. Unfortunate. Migration attraction, or we can't just let them leave. Radical laborers, not so much migration attraction penalty. Let's just cannot let them leave. Among other things, this does mean that now that the gold fields are toast, we'll have more space for gold mines, but only by one. Still, it is an investment worth investing in, so let's kick that up to the top of the construction queue. You should be good to go with this. Yes, you are. Proposed peace deal. And they have accepted our protectorate ship. So let's put both of these armies over here on the front with France. This one as well. It's interesting. This is kind of like a main front at this point, which is quite curious. A lot of people have armies over here. Although this is really what I would think is a kind of a main front. But I think our forces will go there afterward. I think for now we'll just sort of stack up here and clear this out. I think afterward I'm going to put my smaller army to arms. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of fronts that aren't great, but it is what it is. Alright, let's take a look at our first battle here. We are winning with the help of our British friends. They've got shrapnel artillery, shrapnel artillery, shrapnel artillery, shrapnel artillery. We got some shrapnel artillery, and finally, we are bringing some shrapnel artillery to the battle. Let's see what the enemy's got. They got some infantry, some skirmish infantry. France is using skirmish infantry? Although I guess it's only 1899, so I'm a little bit ahead on trench infantry, I suppose. Still, it's curious. Alright, there is a victory. The enemy is in panicked retreat. So that's going to be a victory for us, almost assuredly. Those 8 guys are really holding. Alright, there we go. We got a new battle happening here. Raising concerns. The petite bourgeoisie have expressed their concerns about the government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of Brazil with a dense and vicious poison. This needs to be addressed. Unhappy industrials, happy petite bourgeoisie, are the need to accept that we cannot always please everyone. This will weaken the petite bourgeoisie and make them a little mad, but I'm going to choose it anyway because I can't have the petite bourgeoisie creating problems for me right now. I need the industrialists happy because I do want to take another run at universal suffrage pretty soon, and that's going to take a long time. Relations with the Netherlands are... They do say they're improving, so hopefully that'll be nice. We got another battle going on here. It looks like we are winning once again. So I'm feeling generally reasonably confident. Force comparison here is very good. It looks like this front is closed out. I'm not sure. I think we've won over here. It's a little hard to tell, but actually, there's a place where I can see occupation, right? Because this is the French West Indies. If I go to the British West Indies, yes, it is occupied by the French. So if I grab the Armada Nacional and I naval invade the place with my smallest army, the 4th Brazilian, then I can grab that territory back, and that'll be nice. Assuming we don't get an enemy fleet here. What I would argue is the main front in Europe, force comparison, is looking pretty okay. There's a battle happening here. There are a couple battles happening here. Some of them we appear to be winning, some of them we're losing. I think Prussia's handling most of that. Diplomatic situation is a little bit complicated. But I gotta say, the internal political situation has never been better. Population is up. And if we can get this war sorted out in a reasonable time frame, we'll be feeling all right. All right, so we are advancing on this front in the West Indies. That is quite good. We're basically unopposed over here, so I'm not anticipating any issues. Perfect. All right, so from this point, I think the 4th Brazilian army is going to go to... I can't get there. Well, that's a shame. They're sinking our convoys. That's also a shame. So where are their fronts available? Malaya and over here. Well, first things first. 1st Brazilian army is going to stay in Brazil. So these two fronts are what? This is a treaty port, and this is part of France that's down here. Alright, so we're going to actually have the 4th Brazilian Army. They're going there. Okay, that is a reasonable location. And then we'll have the 3rd Brazilian Army head over to this territory. While we figure out where our convoys are being raided from. I think probably the Bay of Biscay. Britain is winning the battles there. Actually, we can put the 45th Army to a better use. Invading... Oh, that's American Senegal. That's not French held at all. Over there as well. Wow. We're going to have the Armada Nacional head to the Mediterranean, and then have the 45th, the 45th Army, the Brazilian 4th Army invade the French Republic, in Africa. Force comparison is looking very good here in Prussia, but I don't know exactly how well that's going to ultimately go. Alright, so let's grab this force. And we're going to want the 4th Army. It's going to get there very, very soon. And if we can successfully land there, we can do everything we would like to do. Another Devil's Railroad event. This one in Santa Cruz. Workers on the railway in Santa Cruz are dying in droves due to the harsh malarial conditions and the extreme demands placed upon them. Every mile is marked with gravestones, every track laid in blood. Malady and the scorching heat blister our bodies. We pave the road to hell with our lives. Full steam ahead causes huge mortality, and this is too high a price to bear, reduces state construction efficiency. I have to go with mortality once again. We're doing a huge blitz to increase our the overall size of our economy and our overall development in these areas, and I can't just let stuff go here. All the fleets are doing battle in the Bay of Biscay, so I'm going to head there myself. And the 4th Army will basically just grab as much of... Actually, hold up. What if we didn't? And what if instead of that, the 4th Army just took over the rest of Algeria here and then moved back to the coast and invaded, like, southern France? Oh, no, they got our armies here. Well, we could grab Corsica. Corsica's a good target. What happened here? Oman is in the French Republic. Oh, because this area is impassable, maybe? Weird. 3rd Brazilian Army, come on up. Come on up, back up north. So we're trying to get to our secondary front over here just to clear it out. But if we can't, then our army is going to go to Corsica. Going to take its sweet time getting there, unfortunately. France is losing, but the force comparison on, again, what I see as the main front is pretty rough. Alright, so we'll invade with the 3rd Brazilian Army. It's going to take 5 weeks for them to get back over here, but that's fine. And there's another diplomatic play, a couple of diplomatic plays popping off against Great Britain. We got like staggering diplomatic incidents, which is fine. That is what it is. Alright, the enemy does have a fleet here, but it's much lower in strength than ours. So we'll see how it goes. Yes, we are winning. Beautiful. Yeah, look at that big ol' ironclad. Ironclad and our monitors here. Nice. Our army is slowly getting into position here. Alright, we've driven that fleet off, and that makes Corsica ours. Wonderful. There is a new front over here in Prussia, which we can reach. So I'm going to put the Brazilian 3rd Army there. And once we close this front out, we'll try to do another sneaky invasion of France. Brazil is holding strong, so I'm pretty pleased about that. This is the Senegalese religious revolt that that Britain is fighting. Perfect. Alright, so Armada Nacional, go ahead and invade Languedoc with the 4th Brazilian Army. Saxony sides with Austria against a capitalist revolt in the HBC. Interesting. Very interesting, in fact. Let's see if France has... So, what's the actual war goals here? France wants the Yoruba states, the West Indies, and the Seh. So, West Indies is this territory here. Seh is here. And this territory is French occupied. And then it should show on the map where the Yoruba states are. Here. In Oyo. Interesting. And then Britain wants to liberate Selangor, Siak, and Nejd, and to revoke the French. And Prussia wants to revoke the French claim on the Rhineland. So that's interesting. I could invade back Siak or Aseh. That would be an interesting play here. Get this territory. I think that's probably the way to go. Actually, now that I'm looking at it. So let's go ahead and cancel this naval invasion. And the Armada Nacional will actually invade over here with the 4th Brazilian Army. It's going to take a long time for them to get there, but we'll see how things go. France does have war support protection. Liberate Siak. Oh, actually, if I can get Siak. Where's Siak? Pretty sure it's in Southeast Asia. And then does Britain have war support protection? It doesn't, because France is not holding the West Indies. Alright, so Siak. It is this. That's Selangor. That's Siak. Alright, so I'll be able to, once I've got a hold of this territory, I'll just be able to get there. So unless France sends a navy here, we'll be good to go. The Cauca cyclone. A cyclone has hit Cauca, the state of Cauca, from the sea, tearing through homes and people alike. It destroyed our home and wrecked my fishing boat. My family might be safe, but how am I going to feed them? A tragedy, but what can be done? Chance of a famine. We should put some money into relief. 12,400 in government expenses and just 10% devastation. I'm going to do the second one. That's actually not that much money. We're doing very well financially overall. Taxes are extremely low. I could put in a little tax hike. That might be worthwhile. Got another Hell on Earth event. You know I'm going to launch that inquiry. If there's a Hell on Earth under my watch, I want to find out. Crisis in Paris. Discontent in the French Republic has led to the seizure of the city of Paris by revolutionaries. France is now split between two rival governments, that of Paris and that of Versailles. It was now midday, and the whole affair wore a most strange and incomprehensible aspect to one not brought up to making barricades. Instead of the government blocking every street, as was the case in the morning, a hostile cannon was now looking down every alley. The Paris government has no leg to stand on. Improves relations between us and France. The French Republic could use a change in government, deteriorates relations between us and France, or we have no interest in this. Brazilian relations towards France deteriorates by 5. French Republic relations are actually quite bad. We were improving relations with them for a bit. So I think I'm going to do the first one. I still want to maintain good relations with the European powers, and France is one of them, despite our present war. Although I suspect that this war is not going to go on for much longer with the Paris Commune firing, because, oh man, look at that flag. Hold on, hold on. I know that's you, Romania. You can't fool me. You can't fool me. Romania! Somehow the Romanians are to blame for this. Alright, successful naval invasion. Beautiful. So once we got a hold of Siak here, or Selangor, we'll be good to go. And then I think France will lose war support protection. Prussia bails. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So I'm going to pause, and we're going to let this army go where it's going. This army is going a very long way for an army that is not technically... What is this Can I get a hold of this technology for my own purposes? This moving while paused teleportation... Look at this. Look at all this. Look at them go. So I think what's going on here is it said they can't reach the front, so they're just defaulting there. I think the game just animates it at a certain speed, but I think they're actually technically already there. And that's why they're still moving while the game's paused. I think the game has just error handled them all the way to Indonesia. And that's why they're presently on the front. And here's, yeah, because you can see we got, okay, so they're not technically there yet, but they're getting there. Wait, are they? Hold on. Hold on. Third Brazilian Army. They've been error handled all the way to Rio de Janeiro. Alright, cool. Anyway, that's fine. We'll put them over here. This is a good place for you. And there's a peace treaty. So they white peaced. That's totally fine. That's completely fine with me. I'm going to begin improving relations with France once again. Not to be deterred by our recent war, I will improve relations once again. So that's reduced my infamy down to about 8. So I think I'm going to wait a little longer. And the reason I'm going to wait a little longer is because a bunch of my armies are not in Brazil right now. Because we're going to be going after... oh no, the third army is there. It's just the fourth army that's over here. Because we're going to be going after Chile. We want a protectorate over Chile. And there's only one way to get it, which is through war. Although, actually, it's been about a half-an-hour episode, so I think we need to put a pin in it. But next time we'll go to war against Chile to grab the rest of South America into our sphere. I've had fun today. I hope you all have had fun as well, and I will see you on the other side.